in a small village where fear had a name. That name was Zainab. But how does a girl become so feared that even grown men run at the sound of her footsteps? This is not just a story about rebellion, it's a story about pain, power, and a second chance no one saw coming. Zainab was just 21, but in the village of Arunmu, they called her Mommy of the School, not because she was wise or motherly, but because she had repeated classes so many times. She was older than most of her teachers. Her name sent chills down every hallway. Her laughter echoed like thunder before a storm. It started with KLA, a senior student who thought he could punish Zainab for coming late. That was his last mistake. With one sudden blow, Zainab dropped him to the floor. No one interfered. From that day, she ruled the school, not with respect, but with fear. Then came Mr. Salami, the only teacher brave enough to try and discipline her. But he didn't expect what came next. Zainab, in the middle of his lesson, threw a bag of puff-puff at him. When he shouted, she threw the entire plate. What followed wasn't just disrespect, it was war. When the fight ended, Mr. Salami was rushed to the hospital. He never returned to that classroom again. The principal, Mr. George, had no choice but to expel her. But Zainab didn't leave quietly. She stormed his office and left him bleeding. She was a storm without warning. And the school? Helpless. One by one, teachers resigned. Some left notes. Others left in silence. And yet, Zainab walked the school grounds like a queen with no crown. Unbothered, undefeated. But behind every violent girl is a silent scream. Zainab's parents fought every night. Glass breaking, voices raised, bruises ignored. She wasn't born cruel. She was trained by pain. When soldiers came to the school for orientation, everyone behaved except Zainab. One soldier barked, "Sing the national anthem." She laughed and slapped him. The silence afterward was louder than thunder. They dragged her to the barracks like a criminal. The punishment was brutal. "Day 1, she shouted. Day 2, she spat blood. By day 3, Zainab lay broken, the fire in her eyes replaced with emptiness. Then came Farouk, a young NYSC Corps member with kind eyes. He couldn't stand by and watch. "She's still a girl," he pleaded. "She just needs help." The commander scoffed. "You want us to forgive a girl who slapped a soldier?" But Farouk didn't back down. After a long silence, they agreed. Zainab could go home, but only under strict watch. Zainab didn't speak much after that. The fire was gone. But was it defeat or rebirth? Farouk believed in her, but in a world that only respected the strong, could Zainab truly become something else? Zainab didn't return to Ijegun Community School immediately. She stayed at home in silence, rarely speaking, barely eating. Her mother, Rafiat, tried to reach out to her, but Zainab's soul had drifted into a fog she couldn't escape. Meanwhile, Farouk Musa, the NYSC Corps member who stood up for her, couldn't forget Zainab. Every night he replayed the moment she collapsed in the barracks, and every day he wondered, had he made the right call? The principal who expelled her, Mr. Olatunji, had since retired. But with Zainab out of school, whispers started. Was the school responsible for her becoming this way? Should they do more? Farouk approached the new principal, Mrs. Odup, and made a bold proposal. "Let me be in charge of her reintegration. Give me 60 days. If she misbehaves, I will take the blame." Zainab returned to school, but this time no one cheered, no one ran. They stared, in fear and disbelief. She wore a plain uniform and sat in the back of the class. No threats, no noise, just silence. During a class debate, the topic was strength versus intelligence. To everyone's shock, Zainab raised her hand. The room froze. Zainab, in a soft tone, said, "Strength might scare people, but it never earns you love." At night, Zainab would sit by the old stream near Awoyaya Hill, lost in thought. One day, Farouk joined her, and she finally opened up about her childhood. The beatings, the nights she cried herself to sleep, the belief that silence was weakness. Zainab said to Farouk tearfully, "No one ever protected me, so I became the storm before anyone else could hurt me again." Farouk introduced her to writing, giving her a journal to express her anger, pain, and thoughts. Slowly, the chaos in her soul began to take shape in words. For the first time, Zainab began to feel seen, not feared, but not all teachers were ready to forgive. One day, Mr. Obasi, a literature teacher, publicly challenged her, calling her a wild dog on a leash. The class gasped. Zainab stood up. In reply, Zainab said calmly, "I used to bite because everyone around me did, but I'm trying to unlearn that."
Word spread across Irunmu village. Zainab Kareem, the girl who once threw teachers into panic, was now tutoring younger students, reading poetry, and leading discussions on forgiveness. But deep down, Zainab still wrestled with rage. Her father had returned to the village, drunk and loud, the same man who started her war. What would happen when she faced him again? Would she return to her old self, or finally break the chain? When she saw her father again, everything changed. The villagers were gathering for the annual Irunmu Cultural Day, a celebration of roots, rhythm, and family. Drums echoed through the air, but for Zainab, the music stopped the moment she saw him, Malam Kareem, the man who raised his fists more than his voice, the man whose violence taught her how to fight. He approached with a smirk, not remorse. "You think you are better than me now? You, a disgrace I raised with my own hands?" He spat, reeking of alcohol. The crowd grew silent. Zainab's hands clenched, her breath quickened. Farouk stepped to pacify. "Zainab, you don't have to prove anything to him, not anymore." In that moment, Zainab realized beating her father wouldn't heal her. Walking away would. So she did the one thing she never thought she could. She looked him in the eyes and whispered softly to her father, "I forgive you, but you'll never break me again." And she turned her back on him, on the pain, the history, the storm. Word of the encounter spread fast. The girl once feared as a beast was now seen as a symbol of strength and resilience. Teachers who once avoided her began to smile. Mothers pointed her out to their daughters and said, "Be like her." Months passed. Zainab graduated. With help from Farouk, she secured a scholarship to study counseling. Her dream? To return and help other troubled students before they became like her. Before leaving Irunmu, Zainab wrote something in her journal and read it aloud to the younger girls at the school to serve as a source of encouragement to them all. Zainab arrived in the bustling city of Ilaje with a box of books, a head full of dreams, and a past she prayed would never follow her. The university gates felt like freedom. The hostels buzzed with music, laughter, and ambition. It was a far cry from Irunmu. She was paired with two roommates, Kikalomo, bold and bubbly, and Dora, quiet but observant. They didn't know her past, and Zainab didn't tell. She introduced herself as just another girl trying to start over. Kikalomo introduced Zainab to a new world: club nights, social media clout, and rich sponsors. At first, Zainab declined, but poverty whispered. The scholarship covered tuition, not food. And when the hostel lights went out for the third night, she started to wonder. Then came Mimi Okonkwo, a final year student, fashion influencer, and faculty queen. Mimi was charming, powerful, and mean. She noticed Zainab during a campus orientation speech. The village girl pretending to be refined, she sneered. Something about Zainab threatened her. Mimi started her intimidation on Zainab firstly by spreading rumors and lies about her, then by posting a manipulated photo about her online with a cruel caption. From slaps to scholarships, pray for your teachers. Zainab froze. How did Mimi find out? Her past was supposed to be gone, but now it was viral. Zainab wanted to fight. Her fists itched. Her mind screamed. She stood in front of Mimi's room one evening, ready to confront her, but then she saw her own reflection in the glass, eyes wild, fists clenched, just like old times. Not again, Zainab said to herself. I'm not going back there. That night, she received a voice note from Farouk. Z, it's okay to hurt, but don't let it control you again. You're not that girl anymore. You fought too hard to become this version of you. Don't throw it away. Instead of fighting Mimi, Zainab turned her pain into poetry. She joined the spoken word club and delivered a fiery piece titled, "The Girl Who Learned to Bleed in Silence." It went viral, not as violence, but as power. Zainab on stage looked at the crowd and read aloud, "You laughed at my pain, but I built wings from my wounds, and now I rise, not to hurt you, but to outgrow you." Days later, Mimi was caught in a scandal involving stolen exam papers and fake followers. Her image crumbled. Zainab didn't smile. She didn't mock her. She just walked past, offering the same line she once said to her father, "I forgive you, but you'll never break me again." Zainab now mentors first-year girls, teaching them about emotional strength, boundaries, and identity. She still has scars, but now they shine because pain didn't end her, it shaped her.
Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this beautiful story, please drop a like on the video and leave a comment on your favorite part of the story, moral lessons, and so on your notification bell so that you can get notified anytime a new and interesting video is released. If you believe in second chances, if you believe scars can become symbols of strength, share this story. Let it reach someone who's still fighting their past. Subscribe to my channel, Folktales by Queen Mother, for more real African stories that inspire, transform, and live forever in your heart. Please be rest assured that if you support me by liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel, you will always stay motivated. It has not been easy getting here, but I really appreciate all of you who always watch my videos to the end. It's a lot of hard work, days of sleepless nights before one of these videos you watch on this channel is produced. I am counting on your support always to take this channel to the top. Thank you once again for your unwavering love and support. God bless you all.